which means lots of boom, boom, booms. Fight we will. Anons know that this impeachment is BS, guys. Don't we? And we're going to go ahead and explain a little bit of that today here on the Matrixxx Groove Hour for December 19th, 2019. We love you all. Deplorable Proud, thank you very much. And we got my partner in justice. We need to get him in here because he's got some great insight as well. Mr. Shady Groove. Shady, welcome to the Matrixxx U Hour.
Hey now, how you doing today, brother? We got an impeachment.
Oh my gosh, we got an impeachment, I tell you. But, you know, we're not going to bring those impeachment things to the Senate because that's how impeachment works if you know your history.
Oh, we're not going to bring them to the Senate?
No, the House recommends impeachment, and then it has to be tried on the Senate by Chief Justice Roberts, I believe. And then they vote on it, and it has to have a 2/3 vote.
Huh. But they're reluctant to bring it over there.
I don't know why that is.
That seems so weird.
Huh. You guys have seen the new cues, I'm sure. And wow, look at it's on the screen right there. We're up to 37-37, guys, with Chuck Grassley, basically saying this. Why is the Dem House now getting cold feet about moving ahead with impeachment trial? They want to hijack Senate process and muck up Senate. Supreme Court of the United States schedule. You need some consideration about Supreme Court of the United States since Chief Justice provides in the Senate. Are they worried their articles are too weak to move forward?
Yes.
Yes.
They're very worried because that was a debacle what you saw yesterday.
Absolutely. And here you got, the 6 ways to Sunday, whatever his name, the intel agencies get back at President Trump. What's that guy's name again?
Chuck Schumer.
Chuck Schumer in there saying that, do you want a fair trial in the Senate? Did we get a fair trial in the House, guys? Do you think we got a fair trial in the House?
No.
What do you guys think out there? Was that a fair trial in the House?
No.
I don't even need the no button. I got Shady Groove.
I don't think that anyone would be excited to think that that's the way they were treated in a courtroom.
Absolutely. I mean, that was ridiculous. And it was a bipartisan impeachment too, wasn't it?
No.
Right.
Except bipartisan against impeachment.
So Damos74DXS says the facts are undisputed. Hillary is now the president. Oh God.
Did you see what was going on Twitter? Like how many people thought that impeachment meant removal?
Yeah, I got calls and messages from my friends that are, quote, normies, if you will, just regular people, saying, what the heck is going on? And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say exactly what we want to go on.
Yeah.
We're exposing them.
Enjoy the show. All of this needs to come out. I mean, they are showing how ridiculous they are, folks. I mean, if that isn't ridiculous, I don't know what is.
Well, you saw a lot of talk about our quote forefathers and the Constitution in their speeches yesterday. It was over and over again about a phone call, and I'm not sure that. I mean, have you heard them say over and over that this is what our founders meant by high crimes and misdemeanors, to have a phone call with a foreign leader? Like, right. I wonder if they're remembering there were no phones then.
Right.
I mean, it's just completely ridiculous, everything on its face, but it's really good. And I think we're going to find out by getting into some of these Q posts here that, this was what we were intending to do. This is the way we were setting up to expose their con.
That's right.
Lack of a better term.
So last night about 2 a.m, I was on with Kiwi talking about this back channel. Like, what do you think this back channel could be? And then we just Googled some things, and he found the book about the Cuban Missile Crisis and back channel. And I found the this secret talks and back channels pervaded U.S. relationship with Cuba. So this is very interesting. So that, you know, obviously there's back channels, and then thinking white squall, I'm trying to figure out that as well, but very interesting, guys.
And the reality is, without a back channel, then I mean we even consider the letter writing to Kim in North Korea. That's a back channel.
Yes.
You know, so he's, you know, we're seeing on the surface him present, hey, I use back channels. He's telling everyone, you know, everything that I'm doing isn't monitored by every one of the deep state characters for their dissemination in the media.
That's right. And this is for 5 decades. The official U.S. policy on Cuba was one of silence. But the real U.S. relationship with Havana involves secret negotiations that started with President Kennedy in 1963. Even after his embargo against the island nation, say the authors of the new book, Back Channel to Cuba. In fact, nearly every U.S. administration for the past 50 years has engaged in some sort of dialogue with the Cuban government, they say. Peter Kornblow of the National Security Archive and William Leo Grande of American University outlined these relationships based on the recently declassified or otherwise obtained documents dating back to the Kennedy administration. The documents reveal a series of secret meetings that took place in hotels, airport lounges, and restaurants from New York to Paris to Guadalajara, and involved intermediaries like the chairman of Coca-Cola, who served as President Jimmy Carter's representative to Carter himself. Kornbluh and Leo Grande sat down with Morning Edition's Steve Inskeeps ahead of the book release to discuss their findings. So why the talks were secret? They were worried that either the Soviets would be spying on their telephone conversations or the U.S. NSA would be spying on their conversations, so they worked out a way to communicate with each other without anybody else knowing. This theme that runs through the entire history that we've recorded, Cuba issues are so sensitive that when high-level policymakers wanted to have a dialogue, they wanted to keep it secret from other parts of the bureaucracy that might object. On Henry Kissinger's secret negotiations and contingency plan, Henry Kissinger was really the secretary was Henry Kissinger really was a Secretary of State who secretly, I think, really pushed hard to create a window of opportunity for normalizing relationships with Cuba. He told his emissaries that he was using the same kind of modus operandi to approach the Cubans, and he had used with Chairman Lai in China. And for a period of 18 months, there was a series of secret meetings culminating in actual negotiation sessions, a 3-hour session in room 727 of the Pierre Hotel in New York. So here are the intermediaries and informal channels. Peggy Delaney, David Rockefeller's daughter, carried a message from Fidel Castro to George Shultz during the Reagan administration, in which Fidel said he was willing to be constructive in trying to help settle the conflict in Southern Africa. We actually have Cuban documents which Fidel is talking to the president of Angola and explaining why he used Peggy Delaney as opposed to just going through normal diplomatic channels. He said to the president of Angola, you know, when you send a message through diplomats, it takes months before you hear anything back, and sometimes you'll never hear anything at all. Very interesting.
I think this is just a like a little insight to show you that the president is working around all of this. You know, remember the Q post that say just because you don't see stuff happening doesn't mean stuff isn't happening.
Right, and that was something me and Kiwi dug on last night. We just didn't know where to go with that back channel because, you know, you made the comment like maybe, you know, Twitter, you know, we're the back channel. So we were really, you know, kind of, you know, confused with that post, and I'm glad Q set us straight on that a little bit. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I think that that's what he's pointing to after he dropped that this morning for sure. But we did find that interesting thing about Twitter and the back channel and the way that they're monitoring stuff in real time. I almost read it a little bit like, you know, the other guys are using the Twitter bots and monitoring in real time and the conversation in real time and communicating with what to tweet with the mockingbirds.
Right.
You know? So it's kind of like the information warfare. Hughes pointed out that's, that we're both using the same tools.
Yeah, absolutely. And they might be using their back channels as well,
Right.
Obviously.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like where did John Kerry go? Where did Nancy Pelosi go? She went and negotiated, at the other places too. Like she was just in, was it Belgium, right? What was she doing there? She was at the World Trade thing saying that we're still in the Paris Accord and all that stuff. She's negotiating.
Trust that it's going to work out and don't worry about the president.
Right.
I'd worry about him.
I'd worry about him too, guys.
That's the guy with the pen.
Yeah, that is the guy with the pen. He sure is. So we've got 2 days of Q posts here, Shady. We've got yesterday, 12/18. I mean, Q was on fire yesterday, guys.
Even after we went off the air.
Yeah, after we went off the air. I mean, at 2 a.m, that person, QAnon Michelle dancing, wow. I just insane amount of Q posts, which we're thankful for because, we're all sitting here, kind of wondering what's going on, right? Getting calls from people that we know going, hey, Jeff, what's going on? I know you'd know. Because people all they're hearing is impeachment. Demos 74 DKS says search IG and doc for Comey, 0 results, search Corny 149, but it doesn't stop there. James 8 Comey into Google. Oh, and the search will blow your mind. So James 8 Corny even on Google, huh? Thank you. So, we're doing this, Shady. I mean, we got a lot of people wondering what's going on.
They really are wondering what's going on, but that's good, right? I mean, and I also had a few people sending me messages that were upset, and I tried to settle them down and let them know that we, how do you say it? We goaded them into it. we pushed for this. We wanted this for exposure of their shenanigans behind the scenes. They don't really stand for the Constitution. They don't really stand for the rule of law. How many times did you hear no one is above the law? I think that they're making commentary to themselves, project much, because all of them are corrupt, and they have decided to protect their corruption as opposed to stand with patriots who are attempting to expose it.
Yeah, no doubt at all. That's so QD, one of our mods, she's not here today. I think she's been working so much, but she's at work, and nobody really ever talks politics at her work. And guess what they're talking about right now?
Politics.
And guess what they're sick of?
Impeachment.
Yes.
I mean, aren't we all?
I am. But we know that this has to happen in order, right?
Well, they preempted the Bill Barr thing last night on McCallum, and so Q ended up giving us a couple little preview clips from that, which was pretty cool.
Yep.
But
I found all of them too.
Yeah, we were all geeked up for that, and then they ended up playing Steny Hoyer the whole time. I was about to pass out listening to that guy. I was like, wow, how can you be more boring to listen to?
So let's watch. This is all of the Bill Barr things. Let's check it out.
I think what the president was getting at there is, the president bore the burden of probably one of the greatest conspiracy theories, baseless conspiracy theories in American political history, where he was called accused of treason and so forth. And I think he's intent that this not happen to any other president in the future, and is concerned if he perceives that people are not taking that seriously enough or downplaying the misconduct of the past.
Yeah.
Rudy Giuliani just got back from Ukraine again. He's still investigating on behalf of the...
That was that. And then here's the next one. And you know what? I was so late last night, Shady. I called him Bob Barr. Oh, my God.
I just noticed that.
My apologies. It was a long day.
Barr?
A long day. Hey, Bird. Here we go. Here's the next part.
As a general matter, I think we have to be careful about trivializing the process. And they put in a hurdle of high crimes and of treason, bribery, and other high crimes. The articles of impeachment here do not allege a violation of law, and it looks as if it's going to be along partisan lines, I think, I'm concerned about it being trivialized and used as a political tool.
And then here he goes, FBI
One
criticism.
of the things that I object to is the tack being taken by Comey, which is to suggest that people who are criticizing or trying to get to the bottom of the misconduct are somehow attacking the FBI. I think that's nonsense. We're criticizing and concerned about misconduct by a few actors at the top of the FBI, and they should be criticized if they engaged in serious misconduct. That doesn't mean we're criticizing the FBI, and I think the tack of trying to wrap yourself in the institution and say, gee, people who are criticizing the decisions I made are attacking the institution. I notice people don't do that as far as I'm concerned. People feel free to criticize me, and I don't say, gee, you're attacking the honest men and women of the Department of Justice. I think leaders, have to own their decisions and are fair game if they make bad decisions.
Boom. Here's Barr
Do you
on
believe
the
that
scope of Durham's
Is
investigation.
broader scoped in terms of the intelligence agencies that are being looked at?
Oh, yes. He's not just looking at the FBI. He's looking at other agencies and also private departments and also private actors. And so it's a much broader investigation. And also he's not just looking at the FISA aspect of it. He is looking at all the conduct, both before and after the election.
Boom.
This is the whole thing on display. He's going into it a little bit there, but man, you're really seeing the whole game kind of play out of, someone says something to critique you, and then all of a sudden you're the victim, whether you're Lisa Page or you're Blasey Ford or you're James Comey, like they're doing this, or some people on the behind the scenes in some of this Q stuff, you pretend like you're being attacked whenever you're being critiqued.
Right, absolutely.
Big difference to critique someone than attacking someone, and so that's the way they're all painting it. Strzok, Page, McCabe, they're all victims. None of them are responsible. And there's also the clip there about Barr, where I don't know if it was in that one, but the one where he was talking about how absurd it was what James Comey was saying. So this is compelling, to say the least, of watching them get exposed, and their little games aren't going to work anymore. Even the stuff they do on the Chan boards, it's all the same slide, the same gaslighting, that you pretend like you're the victim whenever you're really the attacker.
Absolutely. And that happens all the time, man.
The president is like, he doesn't go out there on Twitter and baldly attack people. He responds to people attacking him, and then accused of using his bully pulpit to attack people.
Right. And that happens. That's called defending yourself, actually, which is a big difference. It really is called
defending yourself.
When you're attacked and you say something to defend yourself, that is natural law, and that is allowed, by the way.
And whenever you request a court, that's being attacked. Like, they were making the argument on TV this morning, like, oh, what are you going to wait for the court to take 6 or 7 months?
Right.
Well, if that's how long in the court takes, then yes, we want due process. That's what America is all about. I thought that's what we were doing here.
That's right. United States of Q says corny is done. I think so too, guys. We're seeing some people with some buffering issues. I'm not having any issues here, but just refresh if you get those. You are watching the most censored YouTube channel on YouTube, in my opinion. All right, guys. So that's the Bill Barr stuff. Also, we were talking about the back channel. Let's look at back channel posts. A nice suggestion from one of our Patriots out there on YouTube. Look at this. So this is the back channel, right? The Great Awakening Freedom of Thought was designed and created not only as a back channel to the public, away from long-standing mind control of the corrupt and heavily biased media, to endure future events through transparency and regeneration of individual thought, breaking the chains of groupthink, but more importantly, aid in the construction of a vehicle, a ship, that provides the scattered free thinkers with a starter new social networking platform which allows for freedom of thought, expression, and patriotism or national pride, the feeling of love, devotion, and sense of attachment to a homeland and alliance with other citizens who share the same sentiments. Also, Q says, sometimes I think it's hard for y'all to empathize with us. Y'all on operating from the position of knowledge. We're in the dark. We are desperate for truth and justice. Define back channel. Q. Again, that was also talking about Five Eye was established and designed by the intel community as a back channel surveillance apparatus to avoid domestic laws that triggers and congressional Senate oversight. Right?
So just like we were saying, both sides.
The use of back channel. There you go. Huge happenings. Here's another one. Huge. Here's another one. See? We just talked about that one.
That was a repeat, yeah.
And then how do you safely and securely communicate through a back channel with the public and bypass the fake news media?
8chan.
That's right. That's right. And here's the back channel does go both ways. Bruce Orr was acting as a back channel for the dossier author Christopher Steele after the FBI terminated him in November 2016 for breaking protocol by leaking to the media.
And what has Adam Schiff been doing by using the media as a back channel?
BO was the back channel between FBI, DOJ, and Steele. And BO at this time was Hussein, guys, Barack Obama.
Early on, yeah, before we started getting confused between board operator and Barack Obama, we started using Hussein.
Right? I think that's exactly what happened. So, we got all that. I mean, Huber has everything, guys. Trust the plan.
470 investigators, I think, were feeding information into, I think they were compiling information from Anons and feeding it back to Durham.
I think so too. I mean, the Anons have done, that's why they wanted 8chan down, guys, is because if you look at that stuff, guys, on 8chan, it's fact. You can't really dispute it, guys. You can't dispute fact, right?
And they are so afraid because they weren't understanding, like, how's this information being talked about? Like, why are these people tweeting about this?
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Why is it, we didn't say anything about this. What's going on?
Right. We're all mad here, says Schiff equals JP Morgan. Or Jacob Schiff. Jacob Schiff too, right? Could be.
Jacob Schiff was probably the grandfather.
Serious business is in here. Big name arrests. Well, that's some serious business. Bruce Orr, could be Bruce Orr at that time. Yep, but I believe that post that we were looking at with back channel could have been Obama. Let's go back down to it.
It could have been Bruce Orr, actually. Now that someone says that, what was the date on it?
Here it is right here. B.O. never called to testify? Well, we know Orr was testified, but Obama wasn't.
Well, 8/28 would have been way after the change, because he started doing that almost before the first of the year in 18. So this may be Bruce Orr.
So it could be Bruce Orr, yeah. You're right. Absolutely.
And that is interesting because he's the linchpin. He's the one that was still talking to Christopher Steele after they had gotten rid of his services, ixnayed his confidential source status.
Yeah, I think you're right. Bruce Orr in this context, for sure. Great work, guys. See, this is why we live dig together, folks. It's not about any one person, guys.
Oh, it's also why we don't get hung up on any one thing.
That's right. I mean, because information changes, and once we get more information about things, sometimes our view and purview changes too, and that's healthy. And it's okay to admit when you're wrong too. Because look, I voted for the Bushes. Now that I know what I know, I'm kind of upset that I voted for the Bushes, right? Because I have more information. All right, so that's part of our dysfunction in society, is that we've been trained to not upload new information and adjust our thought process. That's what logical thinking means. That's exactly right. And when you get more information to, look at, whether you like it or not, guys, or especially if it doesn't fit your narrative, you still have to look at it. Right. Dopamine says, like, he voted for Obama. I mean, yes, there's people that voted for Obama that do not, that are upset about that, knowing what they know now, but they didn't know then, and that's okay. Christian, thank you so much. Look at all of, the
polls that Parscale put out last night, or not the polls, but the stats that he put out last night, said 17% registered Democrats showed up at the rally. There were only, I think, 6,000 people that were able to get into that venue. 17% Democrats. So look at how many people that were sitting there cheering for the president voted for Barack Obama.
What was that percent again, Shady?
17.
Oh my gosh, say it isn't so.
That's what Parscale posted.
Sovereign Steve says, what's going on in Virginia and gun confiscation, National Guard, etc.? Any good news? I'm very concerned. I haven't heard much about that, but I can dig into that a little bit.
Well, I can talk to it for a little bit. What's going on is the governor's office made some sort of comment that was picked up on about that they're going to turn off the electricity and the internet and the telephones when they go around confiscating assault rifles.
Wow.
That was the comment that was put out. So since then, there's been lots of pushback. There's a couple of counties that the sheriff is threatening to deputize everyone in the county. And there are a lot of people on Twitter who are really sending the hammer to this guy. I mean, you just don't know. There's the Virginia State Militia has now convened a meeting, and they are not going to take this. You're not going to just use your pen and take away people's guns. It's not going to work in America.
But wait, Soros says a white nationalist created a hoax about gun confiscation that is leading to calls for violence on social media and message boards.
Yeah, that's for the left to read. That's not what's going on. Remember, we have, so this is, I can give you a little bit of insight into this. This is me going back to the early 90s. Whenever I started first digging into this stuff, whenever I found out that we had a state militia in every state that was standing, that was active, it made me feel a lot better way back then, seeing all the Clinton chronicles and all of the stuff that was going on in that administration. Very concerned we all were, passing around surveys trying to see who would and wouldn't fire on American citizens. That's not going to be good.
Right.
So, from whether it be from Michigan, Indiana, all of these states have a militia, and they are a well-armed militia. And at any point, Q has shown us that when government becomes corrupt, you have the right to overthrow the government. That doesn't mean you're overthrowing your system of government. It means you're getting the people who are misusing government out.
Right. That's
the government's fine. It's the people that misuse it that are the problem.
Absolutely. If you go to the whitehouse.gov, let me just see if we have the administration about the White House get involved issues. There was on Obama's White House, they actually, I don't see it here, but they had the amendment there. It only just said the right to bear arms. It didn't have the whole Second Amendment quote.
It didn't have the whole thing, the right to establish and maintain a free militia.
Correct. Sherry Houghton, love you guys. Where we go, when we go out. No, Sherry, we love you. Thank you so much. Wow. So yeah, it's to the right to have a well-formed militia, right? I mean, it's, if our government becomes corrupt, we should take it back. And I think that's exactly what's kind of happening.
Well, that's who fought the revolution.
That's it. And I think we're in this new age.
The militia. That's who fought. We used to have battleships.
Yeah.
With cannons.
Yeah.
As private citizens.
That's right.
They used to let us have TNT as well.
Because I'm TNT. Dynamite. All right, so let's go through some of these Q posts, man. We're way behind. And yes, we know that there's Q posts today. In fact, my thread on Twitter is all the way updated. I stand with Virginia, too. Up the rebels. So we got some great people here. We got Dutch Granny Gray in here. Nalia Ann, hello. Dragonian, the Blood 76, hello. Fiona, hi. Sherry Snapper's in here. Tannerite, she says. Mike Hess, Sherry, hello. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here today. And look at our wonderful mods. We got Cutter, Kiwi, Poussant, Rocket Girl, queued up. Oh, did I leave anybody out? I don't know. I hope not. But these are the best. Oh, Kiwi Patriot and Pseudonym should be in there, I hope. You guys are awesome. Rosebuds, hello. Dalbro, hi. And wave to you where we go, when we go all. There's Mac. Guys,
love.
Time Foolery, hello. How are you? And love your meme, by the way. Did you see Time Foolery's meme?
I did. What an awesome meme. Are you going to show them?
Yeah, look at that. What Shady. What are shovels used for?
Special little artwork there.
Hey, Shady, what are shovels used for?
Digging.
Yeah, I love it, and thank you for that. She said she was a little snickery in YouTube, but you know what? I didn't feel that. We love you very much. This is a very emotional journey that we're all going through together, and nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect at all times. Summer. She's at Sumner_Roxanne, ROXANNE. If you want to go ahead and give her a follow, she's a wonderful patriot. She's right out there for us. So thank you very much for being here. We love you very much. So let's go through these, Shady. This is the story was held off by the impeachment, right? Because Q said, "What a coincidence." The timing of impeachment vote revised, 7 p.m. Eastern. Interview with Barr, 7 p.m. Eastern. Coincidence, Q?
Didn't you think it was interesting that he was doing the rally at the same time last night, at the exact same time as this was going on? We were supposed to be watching Barr on McCallum, and it ended up that Ingram and Hannity and Tucker kind of ran their shows. So Kellyanne was on Ingram. So we were on all fronts last night.
Yeah.
Everything moving forward.
Yeah, and Fox News barely played any of the rally. I had to come watch it on the PC, which I was more than happy to do. That rally last night was phenomenal.
Yeah, and definitely if you don't know, support RSBN out there. They're doing a great job. They're Patriots supported. They have Trump 2Q2Q in their did you see that in their scroll?
Yeah, it was awesome. I was watching Golden State. I go to both of them. You know what I mean?
They're both good.
They are. I mean, just support them because they, in fact, they can't play the song because they get copyright strikes. They can't play the song when Trump enters or the Rolling Stones song at the end. So very interesting. But OAN must have played it. I think. I don't know. But the other one can't do it. Miss Q says 287,000 people were watching.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
55,000 in last night's chat at the RSBN rally says Angel Flies. Wow.
Holy camoli.
Wow. Those are some huge numbers.
I was wondering because it seemed like the stream was getting messed with on the TV. Like they had to switch back and forth. I think they have an alternate stream. Kept getting hung up. It may have been because of so many people watching.
Right. That's probably exactly why. Wow. All right, Shady, let's go back to our Q posts. Let's see where we are. I think we're right here. Yeah, let's go here. And I know this one is a redrop, and it's very important. Shady, why don't you take this one with your awesome voice here? This is 3721.
Yes, this is a redrop, like he said, from before, but it's very important. What happens when 90% of the media is controlled and owned by 6 corporations? What happens when those same corporations are operated and controlled by a political ideology? What happens when the news is no longer free from bias? And what happens when the news is no longer reliable and independent? What happens when the news is no longer trustworthy? What happens when the news simply becomes an extension or arm of a political party? Fact becomes fiction. Fiction becomes fact. When does news become propaganda? Identity creation? How does the average person who is under constant financial stress by design find time to research and discern fact versus fiction? The majority of people more prone to believe someone in power sitting behind a big brand news name.
I'm Anderson Vanderbilt.
Brit Hume.
I'm Brit Hume.
Do people or human psyche tend to follow the majority or the mainstream viewpoint in fear of being isolated or shunned? Mainstream is used for a reason, to dominate trend in opinion. If majority of the people believe X, then X must be validated or true. Why do mainstream media heads within different organizations always use the same keywords and or catchphrases? Coordinated by who? Outside entity providing instructions? Sounded like it by Pelosi this morning. Do they count on the fact that people or the human psyche are more prone to believe something if heard over and over again by different trusted sources? Do echo chamber tactics provide validation, credibility to the topic and point being discussed? Threat to intellectual freedom? Would control over and of these institutions and organizations allow for the mass control of a population's viewpoint regarding a desired topic? Read again and digest. Would control over and of those institutions and organizations allow for the mass control of a population's viewpoint regarding a desired topic? Logical thinking. Why, after the election of 2016, did the Dems and the media corps jumpstart a coordinated and planned divisive blitz intended to create falsehoods regarding illegitimacy of the election, character assassination of the POTUS through sexism, racism, and every other ism they can imagine, pre and post 2016 election? And why were violent mass terror organizations such as Antifa immediately created and funded? And why were these organizations tasked with the immediate intimidation and shutdown of any pro-POTUS rally and or events? Why were marches immediately organized to counter and silence pro-POTUS rallies and or events? Why were marches immediately organized which divided people into sex, gender, race, ism? When you control the levers of news dissemination, you control the narrative. Control the narrative equals power. When you are blind, what do you see? They want you divided by religion, divided by sex, divided by political affiliation, divided by class. When you are divided and angry and controlled, you target those different from you, not those responsible. Controllers. Divided, you are weak. Divided, you pose no threat to their control. And when non-dogmatic information becomes free and transparent, it becomes a threat to those who attempt to control the narrative and or the stable, livestock, kept, sheep. When you're awake, you stand on the outside of the stable, group think, and have free thought. Free thought is a philosophical viewpoint which holds that positions regarding truth should be formed on the basis of logic, reason, and empiricism, rather than authority, tradition, revelation, or dogma. This represents a clear and present danger to the constitutional republic of the United States of America, Q, i.e. the biggest enemy of the people are the media.
And national security threat too, it sounds like, huh?
Compelling?
Very.
It's not very hard. And don't you think that it's interesting? When was the last time that you saw a Mockingbird news story about unity?
I don't think I have.
Huh. So what does if it bleeds, it leads mean?
Wow. If it bleeds, it leads.
Think about that. That's a term used in the media. That is the way they function. That is the way your news is presented to you. That's why most people don't pay any attention to the news, because they can't take looking at all the terrible things going on in the world.
Right.
Well, all they have to do is show you a bunch of terrible things in the world. Then you don't look at the news. Then you don't pay attention to the news. And then they can hide everything that's really going on by not reporting on corruption, because no one agrees about corruption.
Right.
The media was there to out corruption. Otherwise, it's not a fourth estate. Otherwise, it's a piece of government.
That's right.
Too many pieces of government cause mass hypnosis.
Yeah, and so we had the Trump rally with Antifa in Minnesota. Do you guys remember that? That was interesting.
Well, I think it's interesting to watch how the bigger the rallies get, the less threatening these people can be.
Oh yeah.
The more of us we put in one place, you can go ahead and you can wave your signs and wear your masks and stuff. But whenever you put a whole arena full of gun-toting Trump supporters, it kind of makes the opposite argument a little bit nil.
That's right. And let's look at this, Shady. This is chaos erupted at the Trump rally in Chicago. Remember this?
Show you this. We've turned the camera around, panning around to the back of the arena. This is becoming violent. There is pushing and shoving going on inside this arena. People are throwing objects. Police are now escorting some protesters. We don't know if they're Trump supporters or protesters being led out of this arena right now. but just moments ago, a very large crowd of supporters, protesters, media, it was simply rocking back and forth. As my camera just panned back over, you could see this large section of protesters I was referring to earlier. They're now shouting, "Bernie, Bernie," obviously in support of Bernie Sanders. Aaron, I've just never seen anything like this. This place has just erupted. Now you're hearing Donald Trump people on the other side of the arena yelling, "Trump, Trump, Trump." The security does not have a handle on the situation here. It is total chaos.
Thank you, George Soros. And there you go.
Sure do like to point at the chaos, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's Trump supporters. Come on, man.
I don't know. That's right. Of course you don't know, Jim.
Right. The rally last night was a Merry Christmas rally. It was the Christmas rally at Battle Creek. If you guys didn't see it, that was amazing. This is when last night when Martha was saying that the interview will be aired tomorrow, which is tonight. Tonight. Right there. But we pretty much got most of it on the Fox and Friends website. Also, this was interesting, Shady. These are links to documents containing financial data on Obama, Biden, Kerry, Brennan, Coates, and Holder. Found out just by skimming the docs, Brennan's wife owns a company called We Play LLC, and Obama was a member of a company called Renegade 44 LLC.
Yeah, I saw this yesterday. I did not get a chance to dig into this, but it's something I was planning on working on after the show today, just to see what else we could find in this. This just came up within the last couple of days, like to the surface, right?
Yeah. This was just yesterday on the chance. So call for digging, guys. Here's the link right here.
Let us know what you find.
Let us know what you find, guys. Very interesting stuff. It's on the ethics page. Ethics. Like they have any.
Is there such a thing as government ethics?
Yeah. So right. So the Democrats just impeached POTUS in the House. I'm dying laughing. Not one Republican voting. Not one, Shady.
Not a Republican voted for impeachment. And remember, we had what was it? 60 or 70 of them voted of the Democrats voted to impeach Clinton.
Yeah.
Almost every person in the House voted to impeach Nixon.
That's right.
Like 400 and something to 2 or 2. I mean, it was a ridiculous number, whatever the number was.
Yeah.
It was just a couple that didn't vote to be. We had one. Who was it that was the voted president on the Democrat side?
Tulsi CIA Gabbard.
Oh, okay. That's for some reason I could. Now I understand. Yeah. Now I remember someone saying a comment on Twitter last night.
Yeah.
I got it.
3 Dems voted no, according to USFQ. Right.
Well, 3 Dems know what the law means.
Right. So that's very interesting. The death of the Democrat Party is what you're seeing there. Last night, Q posted us this. 3722, the Mueller report, despite being written by angry Democrats and Trump haters, and with unlimited money behind it, $35 million, didn't lay a glove on me. I did nothing wrong. The partisan Dems never tried to impeach. I would first head to the U.S. Supreme Court. You get that, right?
Anons know.
Yeah. Here's the Bob Barr stuff. And here we go. Q dropped this just after that. NationalReview.com, Shady. Here it is. An impeachment roll for the Supreme Court? Do the charges against Trump pass constitutional muster? The judges should decide before the Senate does. Ooh. Is that why she's holding off, folks? Dun, dun, dun. It's getting interesting. In the present overheated state of official Washington, there may be no alternative to charging into an impeachment trial whose outcome is a foregone conclusion. There is no allegations of treason, bribery, a high crime, or misdemeanor. The 4 categories of offense are the Constitution identifies as just saying the removal of a president and no evidence of any such offense. The Democrats tried bribery for a couple of weeks after their focus group was stirred by it, but it gave up as too implausible. The only bribe that had been unearthed was the Biden family, and not even this rabid ragtag of bloodless assassins that tried treason, though though the wicked act was much band-aided about in the piping days of the previous Democrat push attempt for collusion over between Trump and Russia in the 2016 election. But I mean, they're just going after everything and nothing's sticking, Shady. And these two articles aren't even in the Constitution. The articles that they tried to impeach.
Yeah, there's no crime in the articles.
That's right. So if there's no crime, how do you impeach?
That's what Doug Collins kept saying over and over. He was countering. He was there all day yesterday, countering every Democrat that got up there and placated to their base. Every single one of them. That if that's what you think happened, why didn't you put it in your articles?
Right.
If you think it was bribery and extortion, why is it not in the articles? It's not in the articles because you can't prove it because there is no evidence. It's very simple.
So the country must decide whether henceforth impeachment will be a routine clash between a House of Representatives and a White House of different parties over policy differences or acute personal abrasions, as this is, or whether the authors of the Constitution meant and the national interest requires there it be reserved for accusations of high crimes of the same plane of misconduct as treason or bribe taking after all the hair splitting and righteous posturing by the Democrats and the paritocracy and the mainstream media of their docile media about quid pro quo, a bribe, and other heinous offenses they have swaddled themselves in the charges of abuse of power and contempt of Congress. Any observer who isn't by now contemptuous at least of the House of Representatives is insane, regardless of being a law-abiding or not. The Democrat strategy is obvious. They claim the Rorschach test. There are two sides of equal weight. Half the country dislikes Trump and half the country likes him, or at least thinks he should keep his office until the next election. Like, we can figure it out, right, guys? So very interesting article.
You mean you want to decide?
Yeah. I don't need some no-nadler guy deciding for me.
Oh, you don't want a parliamentary system where the House can start cackling around and just remove the person because they want to?
No.
Oh. So you like your Constitution?
Do you? Yeah, I kind of do.
Kind of like it, huh? So you don't look at it as like some aged document that needs to be updated and brought into the modern world? Nope. Seems fine.
It is fine. It's not very long. It's not very hard to get through, and it's a philosophy. It doesn't tell you how to do everything. It's a philosophy of how to run this country, Shady.
And it's a good blueprint for freedom if we can figure out a way to get people we elect to follow it.
That's right. Wow. All right, so let's move on to the next cue drop, Shady. This is me apologizing for Bob Barr. Oh my! It's been a long day, Shady. I know. We're gonna go to 3724, and that one is absolutely amazing. It's 3724 at 12:18 at 22:52 and 52 seconds. It must be done right. It must be done according to the rule of law. It must carry weight. It must be proven in the court of law. There can be no mistakes. Good things sometimes take time. Attempts to slow block the inevitable justice will fail. D's election interferences, 2016. Clinton, Hussein, illegal FISA. D's election interferences, 2018. Mueller. D's election interference, 2020. Impeachment. Projection. These people are sick and we, the people, are the cure. Q. And then Q. Go ahead.
This group is definitely the cure.
You guys are the cure. Absolutely. And then Q follows up with that and says, fired force FBI, fired force DOJ, fired force Senate, fired force Senate, state, Senate, fired force Congress, fired force forced C_A, fired force DOD, hired install SC, hired install federal judiciary, hired install DOJ, hired install C_A, locked and loaded Q.
Wow, that sounds like a little backup to you are ready.
Is that right?
I think Q's telling us he's ready.
He's ready. You're ready. We're all ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Here's a really cool graphic of that. Post.
Supposed to be blind.
Yep. Very good graphic. And then look at what our president retweeted, guys.
He has this pinned to his Twitter now.
In reality, they're not after me. They're after you. I'm just in the way. That's a meme, guys. That's one of our memes, guys.
That the president has pinned to his Twitter account right now.
Yes, sir. God bless you, President. And by the way, that was a 9-minute delta. And yesterday it was 9 days to Christmas.
Yes, it was.
And here we go. Marker 9. Are we going to have a really cool Christmas?
I hope so.
Oh, wow.
I don't get snow in Oregon for Christmas, so maybe we could have some indictments. That'd be just as good.
It's beginning to look a lot like indictments. Here you go. Look at that. There, pinned tweet.
Fine.
Pinned tweet, Shady.
Pinned.
Trump leads in the general election, just so you know. I mean,
how
does Biden get 41%? I mean, my God.
Because they used to come up to me in the hair on my legs and stand up and they'd rub it up and down.
Oh,
they'd jump up on my lap like roaches, and I like to rub them.
Oh, God, you sound exactly like them. And Pete Buttigieg.
He was brilliantly funny on that last night. He spent like 2 minutes on him.
But talking
about
boot edge, like the edge of a building. Like, boot edge.
You gotta say like the edge of the building. You gotta say it twice.
Boot edge. Mayor Pete.
Oh, Mayor P. Why do they call him Mayor P? Because nobody can pronounce his name.
Right. Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
He went over 2 hours up there.
Yeah, I mean that was
over 2 hours in Battle Creek last night. Interesting choice. And he said during the rally also, he said, I tell them to get the biggest arena, and I guess this was the biggest arena, but we wanted to be here. Like he wanted to be in Battle Creek on day.
Right. He wanted to be in Battle Creek. Wow. Oh yeah, I wanted to get the record straight on this. The New York Post released Donald Trump jokes that late Rep. Don Jingle is in hell. Well, maybe it's because Don Jingle told him to go to hell. Let's get the record straight. Don Jingle, on behalf of so many of my fellow veterans, please take 2 running jumps and go to hell, Mr. Trump. Okay?
There again, not attacking, responding to an attack.
Right. But the mainstream media is attacking.
They're willing to push any story of any person saying anything negative about your president.
That's right.
They don't care.
They're not going to tell you that, Debbie Dingels or whatever said her healing process was damaged. Well, tell her husband to keep her mouth shut.
If you don't have anything nice to say.
Yeah. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
It's funny, though. I mean, you can be critical. We're not, at no point did you or I or any other Anons say out loud or try to tell the mainstream media to be quiet. We're not telling them we don't want them in existence.
Right.
We're saying, do your job properly. Be an objective third-party observer of the news, please. Quit driving an agenda. That fake agenda is the problem, and you guys looks like they're going to stick to it. Looks like they're going to stick to it until they Wile E. Coyote right off the cliff. Not letting it go.
We're going to get to some of that, too. This is the 2 videos that Q linked us to in Q Post 3726. Here we go.
Do you believe that Durham's investigation is broader scoped in terms of the intelligence agencies that are being looked at?
Oh, yes. He's not just looking at the FBI. He's looking at other agencies and also private and departments and also private actors. And so it's a much broader investigation. And also he's not just looking at the FISA aspect of it. He is looking at all the conduct, both before and after the election.
Boom. And then this one.
He said, I was 7 steps removed from what was going on. The director doesn't get involved in these kinds of things, the actual investigation. Do you believe that?
No. I think that one of the problems with what happened was precisely that they pulled the investigation up to the executive floors, and it was run and bird-dogged by a very small group of very high-level officials. And the idea that this was 7 layers below him is simply not true.
Yeah. Wow.
7 layers below him is what he said on the interview with Chris Wallace.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally being run. And also, I saw someone saying that Andrew McCabe yesterday was blaming lower-level FBI officials. Bill Barr has said multiple times that this was brought up to the upstairs.
That's right. And there's 7 layers.
Yep, they were working on this in a small, tight-knit group in the FBI. So, and James Comey, remember also, James Comey interviewed the president and had a car waiting for him with laptop and notes so that he could act as if he was a witness to the way the president responded to him suggesting that the dossier was out there.
That's right.
And they used that as part of their information with the Steele dossier to obtain FISA warrants.
That's interesting. You know, it's also interesting about the 7 layers.
What do you got?
Hang on, let me grab it.
Fruitcake?
The OSI model has 7 layers. There's the physical, the data link layer, the network layer, the transport layer, the session layer, the presentation layer, and the application layer. This is how you. This is routing. This is how Cisco routers work, guys. Very interesting, huh?
So Comey's 7 layers away?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's the OSI model, guys. I had to learn it when I was selling networking gear.
Fascinating.
Yep. 7 layers of the OSI. There you go. Transmit data, physical layer, receive data. So did they use 7 layers? I think they did, Five Eyes.
Which layers steal the data?
That's all of them. That's whatever they were transmitting.
Later.
Yeah, right. So that's very interesting, guys. If you guys know anything about networking, that's what hit me. Dutch Q Patriot says also 7 layers below the temple. Interesting. Information war. Exactly right. All right, so this is interesting. This is 36 times Trump and QAnon have posted on a 0 delta. Let that sink in. Here are all the 0 deltas here, right? The number of Q posts and 0 deltas. This is Trump tweets within 60 seconds following a Q post. That's what a 0 delta is. Trump tweets and Q posts within 60 seconds. There's much higher than any other elapsed time to the next tweet. Statistical evidence. Trump is coordinating tweets to when Q posts. Mathematically impossible. And Q says, what about when verifying new trip regarding Project DCOMs, i.e. calling our shot? Standard deviation broken? Greatest statistical anomaly witnessed or ... Q. Shady, what's your take on that?
Greatest statistical anomaly witnessed, or
what?
Your country is being handed back to you.
Wow. Calling our shot.
Yep, you're being given. And this may be one that he may be referencing, one that they missed around whenever the. To me, I thought he was saying there's one that you didn't get. It should be 37.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
That's the way I took that. Like whenever he was setting up the DCOMs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Because you are absolutely right, Shady. There was a 0 delta. That was less than a minute delta when he was setting up the Project DCOMs. Right. So there's 37. You're absolutely right, Shady. Boom. Boom, Shady.
Boom.
And it's probably even on my Twitter thread somewhere. Or, go find it.
I'm sure it is that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. All right, this one is, I think we really needed. Somebody on the board, Shady, said, thanks for standing watch with us for a little while on this emotional night. We are with you and POTUS. Please pass that on to them. And Q says, Shady?
Q says, friend, patriot, hold your head up high. POTUS was not harmed in any way today, other than on paper, for the history books. Sometimes you must sacrifice yourself for the greater good. Quote, I will gladly take all those slings and arrows for you, POTUS. But even that can be undone. The enormity of what's coming will shock the world. All caps, pray, Q. And I think that he means that articles of impeachment can be removed once there has been established none of this was legitimate. There's fruit of a poisonous tree for every person who was issued a FISA. None of it was legitimate investigations. Bill Barr has hinted at that. Other people are telling us that, but that's the truth. Fruit of a poisonous tree. The president didn't correspond with Russians, and Nadler and Pelosi are up there as early as yesterday saying that this has to do with Russia, and your president is an imposter. 63 million votes, 303 electoral votes, does not matter to Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, not the Speaker of the majority. She's the Speaker of the House.
Right.
I've never seen a polarization like this. Not with Newt Gingrich during the Clinton thing. You've never really watched the speaker be so obtuse and rude and inconsiderate of the minority party. Not in my lifetime. I've never seen this.
That's right. Wow.
We've always been respectful and processed. Processed meaning there's rules, and we go through the rules. We follow the rules from the past. The rules were not followed here on any stretch of the imagination. You heard Nadler or Schiff or whoever it was tell Doug Collins that we were going to get a day for hearings for our side of witnesses. So this would be like a trial where you were not allowed to bring a single witness to back up your story.
Wait, that wasn't a fair trial in the House?
Nope.
Hanging down in the Star Chamber? Not calling only one factual witness that said that there's no crime?
The fact witness said that he didn't hear a quid pro quo.
Nope. It should have been done.
That's what was meant.
So this is obviously a partisan, and we've got two worlds right now that are going to collapse together. And I think the enormity of what is coming will shock the world because, here we are looking at, Q and POTUS, right? And we've been educating ourselves on this for, 2 years, over 2 years now, Shady. And the other side is just looking at impeachment and all this, mind control from the media, right? All they hear is impeach, and they're really mad because they've made them mad. I mean, today we had this guy post scalping the president, Shady. This is my art. I Donald Trump is not my president. He's got an image of him scalping the president with a red ball in his mouth. I mean, this is what our media has made these people think. They've made them go mad, Shady.
Well, look at the incident we had on the bus with the kids beating up the boy wearing the hat in the background. Also, look at the imaging of, I can't remember which company it was, but they're putting these billboards up in New York. You know what I'm talking about. That are all, they don't directly picture the president, but they're very insinuative about hurting him, harming him. It's not about electing a better candidate. It's about hurting him.
Yep.
Personally, like depictions of murder and heads being cut off. How would people have reacted if we were running around with pictures of heads being cut off of 44?
Oh my gosh, right?
Look at the pushback. Any person on Twitter that were to post something like that would have been targeted by them and silenced.
Right.
But now we have actors, people in Hollywood, De Niro, Kathy Griffin, Rosie O'Donnell, Whoopi Goldberg, all of these people verbally expressing desire to maim, harm another human being. And that was just not part of our political discussion, even in the Obama years.
Yeah, I never wanted any of that.
I never wanted to hurt him.
Apparently there's over 1,000 people watching. I got 1,017 people watching right now. Thank you very much. Rand Williams is saying new Q. Yes, we're going over all Qs. In fact, I've got every single Q so far on our timeline. And sit tight, my friend. We are going through each and every one of them. What an amazing time to be alive, guys. What do you think? Crazy, right? Isn't this huge? So let's go on to the next Q post, Shady. This is the 3729. We kind of touched on this on the first part of our show, right? Back channels are important. Know your history, and you'll know why. And that prompted, Kiwi and I to dig yesterday. Then we got this one, the QAnon Michelle status. Thank you, Q+. She got Q+ last night, or this morning at 2:16 and 12 seconds. Shady. Pretty
That's
amazing.
late or early.
Later, earlier, I don't know what time it is anymore. So that's Michelle QAnon dancing to a Q-endorsed song. And that song was, let me just go to the actual tweet. I can't play the song because it will get what do you call it? Censored. Yeah, censored. But this song is a Green Mind, it's called. Oh my gosh, excuse me.
Sure.
Oh, thank you. So here it is right here. There she is dancing, which is pretty wild. I mean, I was like, wow, this is interesting, huh? What do you guys think?
I think that she's ready for impeachment party.
I think she is, and I think Q+ was actually happy, maybe because of the long day he had, right? That was Rocket's summation of it. But very, very interesting. Bless you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's getting cold here. It was like 66 degrees here last night. 64 degrees. Oh my gosh. Brr. All right, so we got that. Then we got thank you, congrats, QAnon Michelle. Also, I wanted to set that record straight. This is Q3731, Shady. M2M Madness tweeted this: puppets following orders. And here's the video.
Oh my gosh!
Have said,
Good luck following along with this.
Games with impeachment if you hold on to these articles for too long.
I said what I was going to say, Nancy. When we bring the bill, which is, just so you know, there's a bill made in order by the Rules Committee that we can call up at any time in order to send it over to the Senate and to have the provisions in there to pay for the impeachment. And then the next step, the whatever you want to call it, the trial. That is where you put the managers. I was not prepared to put the managers in that bill yet because we don't know the arena that we are in.
It's called the Senate.
Frankly, I don't care what the Republicans say. Any other question? Not on this subject. I've said this is it. I honored Nancy.
Wow. Wow, right?
Interested in taking questions.
Right, and doesn't she know her history? I mean, it's very clear in the Constitution, isn't it?
It's very clear.
Everybody's sitting there saying, impeachment. That he's impeached, but if we understand what impeachment really means, it means the House says okay, impeachment, but you're not impeached until the Senate votes for it and does the trial. Hello.
Well,
anybody in there, McFly? Go ahead.
Well, the president was saying impeachment light last night. Did you hear him say that?
Yeah, I mean it's not partisan. It's partisan. It's not bipartisan.
Also, it's not impeachment. This is not considered an impeachment until the Senate votes 2/3 to impeach and remove.
And that's mathematically impossible.
It's mathematically impossible, but that is what an impeachment really is. This is not impeachment. This is the precursor. This is the case being presented. Impeachment would be the jury making a verdict.
Right.
Period. So they've everybody confused in the Twitter sphere, like on Facebook and Twitter, like no one understands what impeachment is. No one understands that this was an impeachment vote on articles. This was not impeachment of your president.
That's right.
This is an attempt or a successful vote to move it to a jury out of a information gathering event or an investigation.
That's right.
No jury, no votes or impeachment from the Senate have been made, and at this point, we don't know that she's going to send it. This is all optics, 110% optics. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, there was no high crimes or misdemeanors. What they were saying about blocking Congress or whatever, that's not even in there. So they recommend the impeachment, then it goes to Senate, and it's heard by Supreme Court Justice, and then it needs a 2/3 vote. Neither Johnson nor Clinton were convicted by the Senate.
Nope. And Nixon resigned before that opportunity arose.
That's right.
He had the huge pushback in the House, and he resigned.
That's right. Because, by the way, I kind of have a different view of Richard Nixon now after actually going to read his comments and stuff.
Like he was being attacked by the deep state?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that have been trying to share that information. One thing real quick while we're on that subject, they've started the beginning process of moving against Pence as well.
Oh, good.
Yep. So they're like painting Pence, as well as I think it was a couple minute clip last night. Adam Schiff was out there saying, "What did Mike Pence know?
Wow.
When did he know it?" And we just got some new information. So there's something coming down the pike in the near future about Mike Pence's involvement in this.
So let me get this straight, Shady. So if we get Trump, let's say, impeached and Pence impeached, we get this.
I was going to say, Nancy,
this is going to be our president, guys?
Just so you know, there's a bill made in order by the Rules Committee that we can call up at any time in order to send it over to the Senate and to have the provisions in there to pay for the...
What do you think, Shady? That would be our president, right?
That would be our president if they were able to impeach and remove the vice president and president of the United States. Yes, now let that sink in.
Nice.
And that's another thing that angles to the Constitution and to the way that everything was set up, because by the structure, look at the structure. We have the president, vice president, and Speaker of the House. So they knew when they were setting that structure up that they were giving the Speaker in the House a two step away from the presidency.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why they put the Senate in between the House and then being able to prosecute the president.
So they're doing exactly
very brilliant.
Brilliant stuff. Here we go, Shady. Look at this. This is incarcerated IET. Trump has not been impeached. The House can't impeach. They only vote for impeachment. Then the Senate trial or Supreme Court trial both have to vote to impeach Trump before he's actually removed from office, which will not happen.
Big anon interaction happening here, guys.
Donald J. Trump also retweeted this one, Shady.
Yeah, four or five different anons have gotten retweeted by the president in the last couple of days.
Yeah, that was retweeted by Q+. Yep. That's huge. This is one that's interesting too. Truth is always based on facts. Obama knew everything and participated in election interference for decades. Started in Chicago as a community organizer and then copied all those folks there. And this is what we need more of. Good job, Rep. Louis Gohmert. If we do not fight for our country, we will lose it. Where we go, when we go all. No Nads Nadler has to be shut the hell up. We the people will not stand by in silence at Real Donald Trump. Hashtag 2020 landslide. Anons love these shout outs from Q+. They're amazing. Directly after A+, sometimes after a long day, one needs a little pick-me-up. Q. How beautiful is that, Shady?
I think that this is fascinating to see the pushback against the impeachment thing. And also I saw a couple of people, the naysayers, grabbing the one that the president is 100% insulated against impeachment. You can bet on that, or whatever the post was. That is not talking about impeachment light.
Right.
It is saying the president is 100% insulated against impeach and removal.
Impeach.
Which is the final process in this, not what we just went through in the House.
Impeach 45. All right, then we go to this one here, guys. This is the back channels are important. Okay, so we got this. Fifth Pentagon official announces resignation in a week, guys. There's nothing happening. What do you think? Q. Nothing is happening. Q.
Where's the sound of the swamp draining?
Oh my gosh.
Because I could hear it.
Oh my gosh, Shady. You gotta put me on the. I can't be too silly, Shady.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we just got to drain that swamp. That's all.
But that's the point here.
Well, there it is.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. So while draining the swamp, we got this. 5th Pentagon official is drained. So this is Tina Kadanow, a longtime State Department official who had began working in her pentagram role in 2018, September, resigned on December 16th, the pentagram confirmed. Defense News first reported her departure. There it is. We appreciate her service to the department and wish her continued success. The department remains committed to the development and implementation of international cooperative programs and defense exportability, efforts to foster cooperation with the U.S. allies on research, development, production of support of weapons, system, and related equipment. The department will not provide anything further on this personnel matter, the spokesman added.
Oh.
Huh.
Another person picking up that cookie government job.
There it goes. All right.
We also had was it Mark Meadows announced he wasn't running?
Yeah, Mark Meadows announced that he's not running for re-election.
Another one in the Senate.
Yeah. That's interesting,
he was on
though.
the Intel committee.
Yeah. That's interesting, though. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
All right, so we got that one, and here we go to this one. This is the back channels are important, Shady. You want to take that?
Oh, there you are. Gotcha. Back channels are important. Know your history, and you will know why. Q makes me think of this. Sum of all fears. There are more good people in the world than there are bad. Anon is asking Q, and then that's whenever Q moves into also think White Squall regarding the Cuban Missile Crisis. JFK. Do comms only go to Anons? Bigger than you can imagine. Expand your thinking. Q. That, to me, signals that everyone around the world is getting the back channel information except for the Mockingbirds.
Right.
They're the only ones out of the loop. If we can make them the only ones out of the loop, then they're the only ones with bad information. Then the exposing of them is going to be that much more rapid, that much more efficient. Remember at one point Q said clean and swift. We'll bring them down quick with information. They don't have an inside track anymore. We do.
It's awesome.
We were given the inside track. This is, you guys are special. You have no idea how special what having this information and understanding the world you're really in is, and relieving. Like, we were going over yesterday, like, how would you feel? Not what would you think?
That's right.
How would you feel watching what is being done to the person that you went to the polls and elected? If you didn't have Q, we might have a little bit more hostility.
Absolutely.
Toward powers that be, more like the Revolutionary War era, before there were the modern technology of things like lethal injections.
Guys, we'd be freaking out right now.
I think we would all be freaking out. Not only would we be freaking out, but we wouldn't have anyone to discuss things with. We wouldn't have a network built to pass information around. We wouldn't have trustworthy people to come to a conversation to share this stuff. I mean, it's epic.
That's right. And let's check out White Squall. Here we go. Let me just replay it.
The ship beneath you is not a toy. Sailing's not a game.
So why the hell do it?
Bill's character, Mr. Preston, of which you are in desperately short supply.
They came from different places.
And this Ocean Academy isn't recognized as accredited.
It'll be a good thing, Dad.
They sailed for different reasons.
I don't want to be what I was when I left.
There you go.
Anonymous.
But there was only one way.
We'll do it together.
I can't.
Climb!
To survive on his ship.
I will challenge them, and they will come together.
Become a team.
Where we go one, we go all.
Because where he was taking them
What are they doing?
claiming their place in the world.
Could not be measured in miles. They thought they had survived the greatest challenge of their lives.
We had come through every kind of seas imaginable.
Except a white squall.
But it was only
White squalls are a phenomenon of the imagination.
the calm
What happened to my ship was not imagined.
before the storm. Largo Entertainment presents a film about loyalty,
Where we go one,
We go all.
discovery,
But we're a crew. That's what this whole thing is about.
and courage.
Don't you walk out of this, Skipper, you don't!
Captain, they're only boys.
We listened to you, we believed you,
they're much more than that, sir.
and we are still here!
Jeff Bridges in a Ridley Scott film. White Squall, based on a true story.
So you heard Anonymous, I'd rather go back to Anonymous. Where we go one, we go all, you heard. Calm Before the Storm. All mentioned in this movie, Shady.
And also, the whole plot from beginning to end is a perfect representation of this movement.
Right. It really is.
It absolutely is, down to the last detail, guys. We were nothing when we started this. We were not together. We were not strong. We were not loud. We were not irritated. Nowhere close to enough. We were not pushing the envelope. We were not demanding justice. We were not demanding corruption be exposed. We were not holding the media's feet to the fire. We mostly were barely hanging on to our existence because of the wealth that has been stolen from you. Just imagine. I know money isn't everything. Money isn't anything. But wealth gives you time. And time gives you the thought, the encouragement to be involved in your political process, and a thoughtful process and a thoughtful approach to politics is almost impossible when you can't pay the bills.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So if they could keep us all in a position where we can't pay the bills and we can't pay for medicine and we need this and we need that and the prices are going up and gas is $6 a gallon. If they can keep us in that bubble, then we are not where we go one, we go all at all. Not even a little bit.
That's right.
Now look at us, brother. Now look at all the people that come to this chat. Over 1,000 people in here today. Look at all the people that go to all the other Q people's chats and talk and move ideas around and share different information and say to each other, no, I don't think it's this, I think it's that. And then, oh, okay, well, that's cool. It's different aspects of either. It doesn't matter. We're not hung up. You're not like, notice that everything, whether it's sports or movies, wants us competing with each other. I don't want to compete with anyone. There's no competition here. This is where we go one, we go all. All the people who want to attack and go on the offensive and think that they're somehow better than someone else need to stuff it, because that is not what this movement is about. We are bringing all of you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's right. And no one is above the other. I try to support every one of you guys, you Shady. We support each other. That's what we do.
This movie is a great analogy for this movement, man. I mean, it really is. And I did go back and rewatch this movie after Q started to point to it in a couple of the drops, and it's amazing how you can just sit there and feel. I feel all of you in the chat, and I feel all of the guys on Twitter, people on the chants. You feel where we go one, we go. People in Hong Kong, people in Libya, people in South Africa come to this channel. All of the world wants freedom. The human condition demands freedom. We just have to be undivided in our voice for what we want, instead of asking for all these different things. We want freedom. We want our money to be in the control of the people.
That's right.
Not the state.
That's right. And
that's where we get well.
Yeah, this was
like the best person in the world to do this job.
That's right. This is a tough job, guys. This is not easy. So, Correction Squall on the move. Then he said, Correction 2, you're on the move, long night. so let's go back and read it with, also think White Squall regarding Cuban Missile. Do your comms only go to Anons? That's what I think it is, right? Do your comms.
Yes. That's what I think he's trying to correct.
Right. Yeah. Arcoms go everywhere. I mean, we see like Fox News, even saying stuff that the Anons have brought up, Thanks. Yeah. Blessed to teach. We covered that a little earlier, but I wanted to make sure you had that. We dug on that last night, and it was actually kind of interesting, Kiwi and I, and that's what we came up with. Very interesting. Check it out. Then we've got this. This is the last and latest, greatest Q post right here. Shady Chuck Grassley. Cold feet. Now, remember, Shady, and I haven't found it. Did you find that one that we were talking about earlier today?
I was searching for like 10 minutes right at the beginning of the show, and the one you were referencing, I couldn't, but I do remember something like that.
Let me see if I can find it. Okay.
But Table didn't pull it up.
Table did not. Off the table. Focus on papers on the table. You're right, it didn't. So let's look up impeachment. Impeach. IMPEACHMENT. Impeachment. 32 times. Impeachment. Impeachment. Let's see. Reminder, impeachment. 2/3 vote, guys. We'll just live dig it over here. Let's bring it over here. So this is the 2/3 vote. Logical thinking. Smoke and mirrors. Key sentence, Nadler called the grand jury materials critically important for their investigation, but does Nadler understand that critically important material requested would be illegal for AG Barr to disclose? Gosh, it's awesome to go reread these things. All right, so here it is. Think timing. Look at this, guys. This is a Q post from 3/11/19. This is about the power of Barr, the sealed indictments. And look at this, guys. Think timing. Pelosi pull threat to impeach. Effort to prevent D-class. Letter to POTUS from Pelosi Schumer today. Subject of the letter. Was impeachment threat real? Talking points to satisfy the loony left. Sheep do not think for themselves. Base. Talking points meant to project outrage across America using fake news blowhorn to justify fake investigations and take in donor support. Impeachment requires facts. Impeachment requires 2/3 of the vote of the vote of the Senate. Propaganda arm of the D Party fake news is losing control of their narrative. The truth will always win. Transparency and equal justice under the law. Save America. Q. So, is Pelosi gonna take this off the table?
Well, she was definitely using it, trying to get the president to stop. Say, don't declass and we won't impeach.
Right. Right.
That didn't work.
So now she's holding it, though. She's holding it. So she's not going to give it to the Senate. That would be pulling impeachment off the table, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be.
Okay, so that's interdasting, I think.
I mean, I would think that the Speaker of the House on the day after impeachment would take questions from the media.
Right.
Why can she not take any questions? Not to mention that they're not moving this immediately to the Senate like they probably should be. But why does she not want to stand behind their decision making? Because just like she said, she's not a lawyer. Well, there's a lot of...
I didn't have the coaches and the people in place.
Did you understand that?
I just know music and
that was a good articulation.
I didn't have the people in place that I didn't know was going to be the ringmaster. I don't know.
That's exactly what I heard. Or the Charlie Brown.
She drunk. Yep. She drunk. Let's call it like it is. 1,054 people watching now. 52
vodka for breakfast.
Wow. 466 likes. Please thumb us up if you can. Wow. Also,
Give
guys.
us a like and subscribe.
Real quick. Yeah, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Don't forget, guys, we have got the Patriot pin. It's been selling like hotcakes. Great stocking stuffers. Great way to awaken your friends and family. Get yours today. The links are in the description. Maybe the mods will drop a few there. But we've got 4 of them right there. There's the Q pin with the flag, which is amazing. We've got the Q pin. Then we got the Great Awakening, Where We Go, One We Go All pin. Then we've got the KAG, the Keep America Great pin, designed by the one and only Mr. Garrison. Is it? Why did am I spacing out his name right now? Hang on.
Oh, you got it, Mr. Ben Garrison.
Yeah, Ben Garrison. Oh, geez, I tell you. It was a long night last night. I tell you. At graphics, exactly right. Also, guys, let's make sure to get healthy because I've got a cold right now. I've got to take my stuff here. We got the redpillliving.com/intheMatrixx with 3 X's. Matrixx with 3 X's for 10% off of your order. Please check it out. Let's go ahead and just cut to this real quick.
There was a time when I had then I found out that power players pass lies for truth and truth for lies, especially in areas of life and health. I used to stay quiet, and now I speak up. I red pill my family, I red pill my friends, and I support redpillliving.com. Red Pill Living has real health products that support longevity, vitality, and detoxification against the deep state attacks on your health. It's redpillliving.com. Wake up, stand up, speak up.
Yep, redpillliving.com/intheMatrixx with 3 X's. Matrixx gets you 10% off, and that's Matrixx, MATRIXXX, for 10% off. Thank you very much, Red Pill Living. Check out their C60 supplements. Check out their liposomals, the Kila Cream, all of the oils that they have, all of the products, the liposomal supplements, featured products, all that. Damos, $100 question, Shady. Why not answer questions about impeachment the day after passing impeachment articles? Merry Christmas. That's a great question, Shady. 5-5, Damos. Wow. So yeah, your support helps us, and Damos, that helps as well. God bless you very much. Merry Christmas. Shady, what else we got, man? We got more Q posts coming on. What do you guys want to do? Did we miss anything?
Well, I'd like to send out a little special message.
Yes.
This is one thing I know. I've learned a lot. One thing that I know is that you, Patriots, you guys, this group, you put yourselves last. And I know you put yourselves last because I know who you are. You take care of everybody else and you take care of yourself last. That has to be re-engineered as humanity, as America. We have got to start being able to give ourselves some space, give ourselves some time to heal the wounds and the stuff that's going on with the contamination of our bodies. This is these products that we were just emphasizing with Red Pill Living. Definitely gotten some great feedback from people, but it kind of just hits into the area of where I would like to bring people's awareness to what's going on with you, to analyze what's going on with you, to be honest with yourself about what it is, and to start breaking away from these deep state products. And I understand that your doctor says you need blood pressure medication, and I understand that you need this, but you've got to realize that 100 years ago, 150 years ago, there was a guy with a cart, and he was riding around town, and they called him a doctor, and he was looking for stuff to do. If there was a baby to be delivered or something like that, a broken arm, something that he could help with, but there was nothing to really do. And now we have these institutions that are built around America that house the elderly as they get sick and frail, as opposed to us charging forward into the night every night until the day that we don't wake up again. That's the way we're supposed to live our lives. We're not supposed to live our lives 20 years sitting around waiting for something to happen. You've got to start now thinking about yourself. If we're going to take this movement to the next level, this is not just a 4-year movement. This could be a couple of decade movement in the long run. We need you on this wall. We need you to take care of yourselves. And I need to get the message to you that you're worth it, and that your time spent and money spent on yourself is valuable. And just because it's free for your Medicare or free from health insurance or whatever doesn't mean that's the proper solution to your problem. Think home remedies, think tons of things that we used to use in America. Think CBD that we used to use to balance our lives, that did not have anything to do with pharmaceuticals and the mainstream hospitalized reality that we're living in. 65% of people are on prescribed medications. If you go to China, I can show you stories that tell you that the pills that they're making in China have pieces of people in them. Pieces of people that can be recognized as gender fingernails and hair samples from the prescription pills that the Chinese people are taking right now. If you think that's not in your medication, I'm not sure that's the case. So we've got to start thinking outside the box as your health, as you progress. We're getting out of the doldrums. We're getting out of the, I can't take care of me. We got to get into the, I take care of me. Therefore, I'm the strong fighter. Therefore, I'm the louder voice. Therefore, I've got energy at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night at the rallies, okay? That's my big message for this holiday season to everyone. That I want people out there to take themselves into consideration. The same volume you take others into consideration, Matrixxx. I think that's the big thing that I had on my mind this morning. I feel like I need to share with everyone.
That's huge, Shady. Thank you for that. That's absolutely amazing, man. We do need to take care of each other. We don't know what we're ingesting from these foreign entities. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, did you see this? Let's check this out. This is Space Shot. This is live footage, possibly. You know, right? Let's go. We the people. Let's see. Let's watch this over here. Let's see. Oh my God, Shady. What did we just see there? Fake.
They were trying to take out the vehicle.
Fake.
Huh?
Dopamine. Everybody's saying fake.
Fake?
That's what people are saying.
That looked like it just happened.
Yeah, it looked pretty real to me.
That was that him? Could you tell? I couldn't really tell it was him getting out.
I mean, I don't know if it's a Saudi crown prince. I mean, it looks like somebody pretty, up there. Smoke bomb. Yeah, I saw the smoke bomb too. Project CMD said fake.
I thought they were shooting the engine.
Chinese fire drill, says Average Show. Looked real to me, right? Nobody ran at the machine gun fire. Saudi has fallen. Looked real to me too. Here we go. Let's see. Let's go back to the incident here. What do you guys? There's a guy falling down over there. That was probably fake. It's from a movie. Yeah. What movie is it from? Let's go find it.
Oh, I don't know. Is it from a movie?
That's what somebody's saying. Fake stage, look at audience. Everybody's saying fake and stage, but that's what we always say. I don't know yet. It could very well be. All for optics, perhaps. Interesting. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna unretweet it because I don't know. Interdasting. Maybe our friend Q the Q team will let us know.
We'll probably have a little bit more for you guys tomorrow on that one.
Yep. And Pseudonym says, beautifully said, Shady Grooove. That was extremely powerful and very extremely powerful. And she says, thank you. You guys are amazing. Shady, you're amazing. What's going on? Tomorrow is Friday, so we'll probably have Carly on here if available. We would love to have Carly on here every Friday. And Shady, what about a Q Lounge Live this week?
I'm still not exactly sure what's going to happen tomorrow. I've got one in the can, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to pull it off. I won't know until later tonight.
Okay. All right. Keep us up to date on that for sure.
I'll be coerced out of town for my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So
by the way, Shady's birthday is on the 21st, so we're going to have a big, huge birthday bash for him tomorrow.
Oh, God.
Everybody come, bring cake. It is Shady's birthday. Tomorrow, actually, it's the 21st. It's not my
birthday till Saturday.
But we're celebrating it tomorrow.
Oh, God.
Liberty, 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 liberty. will help me do that. Guys, happy birthday, Shady. You deserve many, many more years, my friend, and I'm proud to know you. Also, what about this, Shady? Let's look at 1 year delta for 1220, right? There's 1220. Wow, look at what's happening here, guys.
That was the post where he was kind of seemingly setting it up to where these guys might have a different job.
Yeah.
Rogers, Sessions, and Kelly and Mattis.
Right. There they are.
But Mattis has turned out to be a real
Notice a pattern? The D party will cease to exist once it's all exposed. Fake news can no longer control, dampen public awareness of the truth. Dark to light.
They failed.
Look at all the happy birthdays, Shady. Happy birthday, Shady.
Thank you, guys.
Happy birthday to you, Shady Groove.
Take it easy.
Happy birthday to you, Shady Groove. Do you like it?
Oh, no.
I think you do.
I might a little.
How many spankings do I need to give you?
46.
Oh, 46 spankings it is. Look at this, guys. This is the U.S. Send No Name. So we got all this on cue for the 20th, which is tomorrow, when we celebrate Shady's birthday.
I gotta learn to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, you say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too. Yeah. Happy birthday to you, Shady Grove.
I don't need congratulations from Bill. I'm getting older.
It's beginning to look a lot like Shady's birthday.
Come on, give me one from Reagan.
Well, happy birthday, Will, to you.
Thank you, Mr. Reagan.
Nancy and I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday.
I'd rather just hear from you.
I don't know, Shady. What does a shady birthday mean? All right, guys, we're having some fun. I'm being silly. We must go. We love you so much, guys. Go Shady. It's your birthday. We're all mad here. 46. He's in his prime, Sovereign Stevie says. When did we invite Bill to the party? Pam wants to know. 46 Sun Cycle says one truth seeker. Hatcher says nice. Happy birthday, Grover, and many, many more. Says Vincent. Wow. Look at that. Do a Clint, Shady. Shady. Dexter says happy BD. Look at all that, Shady.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we love you, Shady. That's why. You know that's why. That's why.
That's not why I'm getting older. That's just what's going on.
That's just what's happening. You're not getting older. You're getting longer, Shady.
Longer in the tooth?
Longer in the tooth. Corey, thank you so much. $2. Thank you so much. Please don't go. Much love, Patriots. Oh, Tina. We got to go, don't we? New coupons and gear, stickers, coffee mugs, t-shirts gets 10% off. Patriot Joe. Average Joe. Happy birthday, Shady. There's still all these happy birthdays for you, Shady. We got to stay and get all your birthday wishes.
I thought you said birthday tomorrow.
Well, we'll do that too. I mean, it's not just one day, Shady. Your birthday is like a whole weekend celebration.
OMG.
I'm even going to come on your birthday and sing you happy birthday. What do you think, guys? Huh?
All right. Upload a Premiere.
Upload a Premiere. Hey, Shady's birthday. All right, guys.
Great to be back live with everybody.
Let's just remember about this BS impeachment, guys. Here's a little reminder from our mean green meme machine and our president.
Stop to their pillaging and their plundering and their hoaxes. The radical Democrats' policies are crazy, their politicians are corrupt, and they know they can't win on election day, so they're pursuing an illegal, invalid, and unconstitutional bullshit impeachment.
Turns to pain, guys. Don't forget. Don't forget to follow Shady Groove at Shady Groove with 3 O's, guys. Shady Groove with 3 O's on Twitter at intheMatrixxx with 3 X's. Get over there, guys. Why don't you drop your Twitter handles in chat right now, guys, so we can all follow each other, united, not divided. Drop them. Drop your Twitters, guys. Angel Flies. Drop it. Pseudonym. Much love to you all. You guys, more Q coming, I guarantee. Big, big day. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, for Shady's birthday. Much love, guys.